Hey, Golden Blue Dude back with another video just for you. So, if you're a college football fan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It is a long off season and I'm here to get you through it. We have a great Patreon page as well. Go check that out. A lot of time and effort going into that. We also have a great website designed and created by Joey Foster. 8 great writers led by our head writer, Michael Walker. And of course, our merchandise store. A lot of great stuff over there. I told y'all that I ordered my 2 t-shirts. Finally got them in. I'm wearing the gold one today, but I also have my blue one. So go check out the merchandise store. I'm sure you'll find something you like. On to today's video. And I want to talk about the next state that could have a university in the Power 5 conference that currently doesn't have one in a Power 5 conference. First, the states that already do have universities in a Power 5 conference right now. And I'm going to go in alphabetical order. The first state, Alabama. Of course, they have the University of Alabama and Auburn. So that's 2. The state of Arizona also has 2. They have Arizona and Arizona State. The state of Arkansas, just the one though, Arkansas. California has 4 universities in the Power 5. They have UCLA, USC, Cal, and Stanford, all in the Pac-12. The state of Colorado, they have 1 university in a Power 5 conference, and that's Colorado. But Colorado State's not too far behind. The state of Florida currently has 3 teams in the Power 5 conference working on number 4. But right now, it's Florida, Florida State, and Miami. State of Georgia, they have 2 universities in the Power 5, and that's Georgia Tech. Illinois, they have 2 universities in the Power 5. Illinois and Northwestern. The state of Indiana has 3 universities in the Power 5 right now. Indiana, Purdue, and Notre Dame. State of Iowa, just 2 universities in the Power 5. Iowa and Iowa State. State of Kansas also has 2 universities in the Power 5. Kansas and Kansas State. State of Kentucky has 2 universities in the Power 5 right now. Kentucky and Louisville. Louisiana just has the 1 university, and that's LSU. Maryland also just has the 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Maryland. Believe it or not, we forget that Massachusetts does have a university in the Power 5, and that's Boston College. Michigan, 2 universities in the Power 5, and that's Michigan and Michigan State. Minnesota, just the 1 university, and that's Minnesota. State of Mississippi has 2 universities in the Power 5, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. State of Missouri, just the 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Missouri. Nebraska, just 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Nebraska. And yes, the state of New Jersey has 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Rutgers. State of New York, just 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Syracuse. The state of North Carolina right now has 4 universities in the Power 5. North Carolina, NC State, Duke, and Wake Forest. State of Ohio, just 1 university in the Power 5 right now. They're working on a second one, but for now it's just Ohio State. State of Oklahoma has 2 universities in the Power 5 right now. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. State of Oregon also has 2 universities in the Power 5 right now. Oregon, Oregon State. Pennsylvania, they also have 2 universities in the Power 5 right now, and that's Pitt and Penn State. South Carolina, also 2 universities in the Power 5. Clemson and South Carolina. State of Tennessee, also 2 universities in the Power 5, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. State of Texas has 5 universities in the Power 5 right now, working on number 6 with Houston. But right now it's Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Baylor, and TCU. State of Utah, right now just 1 university in the Power 5, working on a second in BYU. But for now, it's just the University of Utah. Virginia has 2 universities in the Power 5, and that's Virginia and Virginia Tech. State of Washington, 2 universities in the Power 5, and that's Washington and Washington State. State of West Virginia, just the 1 university, and that's West Virginia. And finally, the state of Wisconsin, just 1 university in the Power 5, and that's Wisconsin. Now for the states that don't have a university in the Power 5. How close are they to having a university in the Power 5? I'm about to let you know. First state on the docket, going alphabetically again, Alaska. Not going to happen. Number 1, the travel is too far out of the way. Number 2, not a very big fan base. And number 3, the football stadium, not big at all. In fact, I couldn't even find a picture. Seating capacity of 3,500. It's not happening, Alaska. Second state on the docket, Connecticut. They do have UConn, and UConn actually used to be a Power 5 team, technically, when they were in the Big East. I do think UConn has a decent shot in the future. They went independent, now they're trash, but maybe in the future, the ACC would be interested in bringing in UConn. They have a great basketball brand, and their stadium seats 40,642. That's a decent stadium, especially for the ACC. They have a lot worse stadiums than that. So Connecticut could most definitely get a university into the Power 5. Next state on the docket, Delaware. I really don't think this is going to happen. They have a decent football team in Delaware in the FCS. Even their stadium is decent for FCS. It seats 18,800, but I just don't think they have a big enough fan base to interest any Power 5 conference. On to the next. Hawaii, very interesting, except their location is their Achilles heel. Now their stadium seats 50,000, but it's under major renovation, and I think they're actually thinking about tearing it down. So right now they're in a temporary home. I'm not sure about the fan base. Hawaii's a wild card, and their location really hurts them. The next state on the docket, Idaho. Yes, well, not Idaho or Idaho State, but I'm talking about Boise State. They have a pretty big fan base. Their football stadium holds 36,387, and they've had a lot of success over the past 20 years. They've pretty much ruled the Mountain West, had a slight down year last year, but I think Boise State has an excellent chance of getting into a Power 5 conference, specifically the Big 12. And remember, Mike Gundy said he believes the Big 12 will be at 14 teams within 5 years. Boise State could be one of those 2 teams they're thinking about in the future. Next state on the docket, Maine. No, it's not going to happen. Maine doesn't have a big fan base. Their FCS team is trash. Their football stadium holds 10,000. It's just not going to work. Maine, sorry, I just don't see it happening. Next state on the docket is Montana. Montana's also another wild card. Now, their biggest university, Montana, their football stadium holds 25,203. That's not bad for FCS. That's actually really, really good. Montana would have to move into a group of 5 first, pimp out that stadium, and then take the next step. So I do think it's a possibility, but this would be in the distant future. Next state on the docket, Nevada. This is a very interesting candidate. Of course, the biggest university is Nevada. They've had some great success in the Mountain West recently, especially last year. Football stadium holds 30,000. Decent fan base. I could see Nevada making the step forward to the Power 5. Probably the Big 12. I don't think the Pac-12 would be interested in Nevada, but maybe packaged with a Boise State added onto their stadium, showing that their brand is growing. It is a possibility. Next state on the docket, New Hampshire. Football stadium holds 11,015. Not a very big fan base. Not very good in the FCS. It's not going to happen, New Hampshire. Next state on the docket is New Mexico. They actually have 2 fairly good-sized schools, and that's New Mexico and New Mexico State. But the slightly bigger one as far as football capacity goes is New Mexico. Their stadium holds 39,224. Right now, they're in the Mountain West. This is a tricky situation. I'm not sure how big their fan base is. I'm not sure if the Big 12 would be interested in them. And I definitely know the Pac-12 wouldn't be interested in them. I don't know. New Mexico needs a lot of work before they're considered to be a Power 5. Next state on the docket. This one is very back and forth. I'm talking about the state of North Dakota. And they do have North Dakota State that rules the FCS. Problem is, their stadium only holds 19,000. I do think they have a decent fan base, but I don't think that their brand is strong enough. North Dakota needs to work on their stadium and their brand before they get considered number 1 into a group of 5, and then number 2, Power 5 conference. You got some work to do, North Dakota, but I would put you on the list. Next up on the docket, the state of Rhode Island. Football stadium holds 6,555. Not a very big fan base, not a very big brand. Not going to happen, Rhode Island. Next state on the docket is South Dakota. Biggest university as far as football goes, South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. Decent stadium for FCS. Holds 19,340. That's not bad. I just don't think their brand would be big enough. I'm not going to say there's no hope like I've said for a few other states, but you need a lot of work, South Dakota, if you want any chance of getting a university into a Power 5 conference. Next state on the docket, Vermont. I'm just going to flat out and say it. It's not happening because you don't have a football team. Moving on. Last state on the docket is Wyoming. Wyoming's a wild card as well. Their football stadium holds 29,181. The Wyoming Cowboys have had some decent success in the Mountain West. I think they have a decent fan base, but not very big, and their brand is so-so. So I would say Wyoming would have a chance in the future, but they also need a lot of work if they ever want to be considered in a Power 5 conference. So my top 5 out of this list would be Connecticut, Idaho with Boise State, Nevada, North Dakota with North Dakota State, and Wyoming. Those are your top 5 states that could potentially get a university in the Power 5 sometime in the future. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments section and whether you agree or disagree. Who would you have in your top 5? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.